Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. In today's video, I'll be doing my top 5 players at each position, part 2. So last Thursday, my video was top 5 players at each position, part 1, which is all offense. And in today's video, I will be doing top 5 players at each position, part 2, which will be all defense. And each of the best special teams players, in my opinion, in the NFL. Also, tomorrow I will be doing a surprise video. In the comment section of last video, I told you guys to leave any video suggestions that you might have, and the one with either the most likes or the one that was posted would be made this Friday. And at the time of recording, that is tomorrow. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. And also, we're very close to my goal of 20 subscribers, and yeah, we're very close. And yeah. Anyways, let's get into it. First, I have defensive ends slash edge rushers. I'm combining these two because, yes, they are not the exact same position, but they are very similar in the way they are, I guess, they function. And yeah, that is why I am combining them here. So at number 5, I have Matt Judon. He has just turned into a monster with the Patriots. I mean, he was already good with the Ravens, but I feel like once he joined the Patriots, he just found something in him, and I feel like he's definitely, obviously because of this list, he is definitely one of the best edge rushers, but I feel like he could be higher, but right now I have him at number 5, and I'm really big fan of his play style, and I really love the way he plays. Number 4, I have Max Crosby. He is another player who is just a relentless rusher. I mean, he was drafted in the 4th round, an absolute steal for the Las Vegas Raiders. And yeah, he has an incredible motor. I mean, he continues to rush the quarterback. And yeah, that attributes to his insane amount of pressures. And has also had so many sacks, along with being an elite level edge defender against the run. I mean, he is just great at stuffing up lanes and is just an incredible pass rusher and run stopper edge of that Las Vegas D-line. Number 3, I have Myles Garrett. I mean, he's probably one of, if not the best edge prospects to come out of the NFL draft for the past decade, maybe even the past 10, or maybe even the past 50 years. I mean, he is just an incredible player. I mean, he has an insane blend of size, speed, and athleticism. I mean, he's quick, he is huge, and is also fast enough to get out around the edge to sack the quarterback. I feel like he could definitely be higher, but because of some of the guys on the list, he's definitely just placed there. I mean, I love how he plays, yeah, I feel like he is an incredible player. Number 2, I have Micah Parsons. I mean, since coming into the league, he has just completely dominated as both an edge rusher and an inside linebacker, and he is just an incredible player, just like a true like chess piece almost, if you want to call it that. I mean, you can line him up virtually anywhere. I mean, you can line him up on the defensive line, you can line him up as a linebacker, and he'll excel at both of those positions. And I just feel like he's just an incredible player. And on the defensive line, he is just relentless with his speed. And yeah, that attributes to him getting so many sacks and so many pressures. And I feel like he's just an incredible player. He'll probably be a force on that Dallas D line for the next 5 to 10 years. At number 1, I have TJ Watt. I know he's dealt with some injuries this year, but I mean, you can't take away how he broke the sack record. I know it was one extra game, one extra game, but he is just an incredible player. I mean, he's another one of those players like Max Crosby, but better, where he's incredible run defender as well as an incredible edge rusher. And when you combine both of those things, you have obviously an elite player, but he is just a special breed, and he's just an incredible player, and I'm a huge fan of the way he plays. At defensive tackle, at number 5, we have Vita Vea. I mean, he's just a huge human being. I mean, he's incredible at stuffing the run. And so far this year, he's been a pretty good pass rusher as well, gaining a lot of sacks for a defensive tackle as well. And yeah, I feel like he's just one of those players who can just is very good at stuffing the run, but can also pull out some pass rush moves as well. And yeah, I mean, he's just an incredible player, and I love him. At number 4, I have Jeffrey Simmons. I mean, I know I am a Titans fan, and this might be a little biased, but sitting here at number 4 for the best defensive tackles in the league, I mean, that could be a little low for him in my opinion, but I really love the way he plays. I mean, he's just a true leader on the defensive line for the Tennessee Titans. I mean, he's just an incredible player as well. He can back it up as well with his incredible playing style, and he's just a great run defender, an incredible run defender, as well as a very good pass rusher. I feel like he's just an incredible player, and I hope the Titans can retain him through this year and just re-sign him on a huge contract because I mean he's is my favorite player right now, and I just love the way he plays. Number three, we have Chris Jones. He is a great run defender, but his pass rushing is incredible. And he is just an incredible pass rusher for a defensive tackle. And he can really just blow through the interior of the O line and get to the quarterback pretty fast. And I just love the way he plays. And yeah. At number two, I have Jonathan Allen. I mean, he is an incredible run defender. He also has some very good pass rush moves, but I feel like what gets him at this spot at number two is his incredible run defending ability. I mean, I know I've said this a lot for defensive tackles, and that comes naturally because that's really what they're meant to do, just stuff the run. But for some of these guys, they're just incredible at rushing the passer, which really makes them a very fearsome threat on the defensive line. Not only to be able to stop the run, but also stop the pass and really just stuff up both of those sides of the both of those offensive schemes. And yeah, that's why I'm putting him at number two. I really like him, and I really like the way he plays. And number one, I know Aaron Donald has dealt with some injuries this year, has not really played up to the way his career has gone so far, but he is always going to be the number one. He is going to the Hall of Fame very soon. I mean, as soon as he retires, I wouldn't say maybe 5 to 10 years after he retires, he's going into the Hall of Fame. I mean, he is a true breed of defensive tackles. I mean, he basically made a whole new type of defensive tackle. Not only a guy that can stuff the run and be incredibly athletic and strong, but a guy that can line up on all levels of the field and really just dominate there. Also, just stuffing the run and rushing the passer, and I feel like he's just an incredible player. I mean, he's probably one of the best defensive tackles of all time, without a doubt, and I really like the way he plays. At inside linebacker slash off ball linebacker, this counts as inside linebacker and outside linebacker that play off ball typically. So not just rushing the passer, but just staying off ball into coverage and really just tackling players. And yeah, that's basically what this segment of the top five list is. And yeah, at number five, I have Demario Davis. I mean, he is like the true example of a tackle machine. I mean, he's a hard hitter, and he's a great tackler too. And I feel like he's just a great leader on that defensive or on that defensive front, and is just an incredible player. And I really like him. I love the way he plays. At number four, I have Levante David. I mean, he's another one of those players who's a tackle machine as well as being a huge hitter. And yeah, he struggles a bit in pass coverage, but his hitting ability is otherworldly. I mean, he is just an incredible force. And yeah, they down there in Tampa Bay, they have one of the best linebacker duos with Devin White and Levante David. And yeah, he is just a true leader as well on the defense. At number three, we have Shaq Leonard. I know this may be a little high for him. I know he's a Colts player and I'm a Titans fan, but he is just an incredible pass defender and as well as a secure tackler. I mean, he has an incredible tackling ability as well as elite coverage as a linebacker. I mean, he has incredible coverage skills, lock down any part of the field that he's covering, as well as just an incredible tackling ability. And I feel like that's what gets him at this number three spot. At number two, I have Fred Warner. He is a player who is just an incredible coverage player, best coverage linebacker in the NFL without a question. I mean, he is just truly locked down as a cover linebacker, and I really like the way he plays, as well as being a pretty good tackler too. But really, what gets him into this spot is his incredible coverage ability for an inside linebacker. Then at number one, we have Michael Parsons. I know he is a hybrid defensive end slash inside linebacker, but his speed and quickness, as well as his incredible run stuffing ability, gets him at number one. I know he is at number two, I believe. Yes, he is at number two on the edge rushing position, but a number one here doesn't seem like too big of a reach. And I feel like he is just an incredible player, just truly a dominant player on all levels of the field. And yeah, he's just an incredible player. I'm a huge fan of him. For cornerback, at number five, I have Marshawn Lattimore. I know this is a little high, and there's some other great players, but I feel like he's just an incredibly good player, just an incredible lockdown cornerback. I feel like I'm going to say this a lot for most of these guys, but yeah, he is just one of the true examples of a lockdown cornerback, and is probably he is definitely one of the best cornerbacks in the league without a question. At number four, I have Trayvon Diggs. He is a player who he has the best ball hawking skills in the NFL. I mean, he can just snatch the ball out of the air and take it in for a touchdown, a pick six. And yeah, I mean, I know he does give up a lot of yards, but he's just a big play type of person, or type of player rather. And yeah, I just love the way he plays. And yeah, whenever he has the ball in his hands, you know he's gonna make a big play. At number three, I have Jalen Ramsey. I know he has fallen a bit because of his horrible season he's had this year. He has not had a good season by any means. But yeah, he is an incredible player. One of those lockdown cornerbacks, as I said, with Marshawn Lattimore. And yeah, he's just a lockdown player. I know he is getting older, but I will not take that away from him. I mean, he is one of the best lockdown cornerbacks of the last decade. And yeah, I feel like he has the capabilities to go into Hall of Fame. But yeah, he has had a pretty lackluster season so far this year. And yeah, that's why he's at number three here. Number two, I have Jair Alexander. He is another one of those players who is just incredible lockdown player. I mean, he can really do anything. He can cover zone, he can cover man, which is all you really want from a cornerback. But he's just incredible, and I love the way he plays. And yeah, he's a true leader in the secondary for the Green Bay Packers. And at number one, I have Tre'Davious White. I know I believe he did tear his ACL last year, and is still trying to recover from that. But when he's on the field, he's going to make a play as a lockdown cornerback, as well as having elite ball hawking skills, and he's just a great player for the Buffalo Bills, and yeah. At number five, or for the safeties, free safety and strong safety included. At number five, I have C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I mean, he hasn't had an otherworldly year this year. Just a true ball hawking safety. I mean, he can just snatch the ball out of the air in his zone. I mean, he's just an incredible player. I feel like he was a steal for the Philadelphia Eagles in a trade with the New Orleans Saints. At number four, I have Jesse Bates. I know he is in a contract year with the Bengals, but I really like the way he plays, and he's a great coverage safety. And yeah, he's just an incredible player. At number three, I have Derwin James. I mean, he is a true chess piece. If you want to talk about a guy who can line up in the slot, can line up at linebacker sometimes even, and line up back deep at safety. I mean, that is what Derwin James is. He's just an incredible player. I know he has dealt with a little bit of injuries, or a lot of injuries, but when he's on the field, you know he's gonna be a great player, and you know he's gonna he's gonna be good in whatever position you put him in, and yeah, that's why he's at number three. Number two, I have Micah Hyde. He is a great safety. I mean, if you trust Pro Football Focus, he is one of the highest graded safeties in the NFL. And yeah, he's just an incredible player in coverage. And yeah, just an incredible force for the Buffalo Bills. And I feel like they have one of the best secondaries in the league, along with him, Jordan Poyer, and Tre'Davious White. At number one, I know this does have a little bit of bias in it because I am a Titans fan, but I have Kevin Byard. In my opinion, he can be one of the best safeties in the league. He hasn't had the best season this year, but yeah, along with a lot of the players on the defense, or not necessarily, but he hasn't had the best of the years. But yeah, he's still going to be a great safety, and is always will be for the Tennessee Titans. And for special teams, punter, kicker, and returner. At kicker, I have Justin Tucker. He is the GOAT at kicker, and I love him. And at punter, I know this does have a little bit of bias, but Ryan Stonehouse, I mean, he's launching balls off his foot like it's nothing, 60, 70 yards, and I'm surprised he can get selected into the Pro Bowl this year. And at returner, Cordarrelle Patterson, I mean, he is just a truly explosive player, and whenever he has the ball, I mean, you know he's going to make a play. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 20 subscribers by the end of the year. And yeah, be